Welcome to the final episode, blimey, of our Formula 1 2019 mid-season driver reviews. I'm a little bit surprised myself that I've got through all 20, but we've made it. And the final episode, I did the same in winter testing in our, what was it? I know what it was. It was our pre-season team review kind of things we did. I just threw all the names into a random generator and let them do their thing. And at first, I kind of wanted Gasly at the beginning of the summer because he was quite topical. But when his name came out last, I thought, you know what? What a nice, juicy one to end the series on. Because, let's be honest, it's been a pretty poor year for Pierre Gasly so far. And put it this way, he's got my lowest ranking of any driver I have given so far. That might be a little bit harsh, because I imagine some of you would give that to Kubica. Maybe you'd give it to Grosjean, Magnussen. But Gasly's got my lowest. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but wow. I'll start off by saying I feel a little bit sorry for Pierre. I think Red Bull have been quite harsh on dropping him this early on. Okay, he's had half a year, he's had 12 races, but I think filling Daniel Ricciardo's shoes is difficult for one. I think it's even harder going to a top Formula 1 team in only your second full season. Even harder when Max Verstappen's your teammate. And even harder when you publicly say in pre-season testing that you don't get on with the car. And that's been a key factor throughout his entire stay at Red Bull. And if you're not aware of the news, first of all, where have you been? It's the Formula 1 summer break. Any scrap bit of news is, we need it. Yesterday, Spain confirmed, by the way, for the 2020 calendar. We'll talk about that another day. But any kind of news we all need, and this was the big thing over the summer, that Gasly's been dropped to Toro Rosso for the rest of the year. Albon has gone to Red Bull. And I don't want to I don't want to talk about that too much, and I don't want to gloss over it, but it's an important factor. Because looking at his statistics, I mean, he's been out qualified by Verstappen 11-1, and that one occasion was in Canada when Verstappen had a mechanical issue. So, is that really 11-1? Well, we'll leave it as it is. Racing, 11-1 again to Verstappen, but that one that Gasly beat Verstappen was Silverstone, which I try and usually cover, or in my notes anyway, do races of note. That's very difficult for Gasly to do races of note this year. But anyway, Silverstone, Gasly was doing his best job of the season there, to be totally honest with you. He drove a really good race, but he was behind Verstappen again. It was only because Vettel ran to the back of Verstappen that elevated Gasly to a career-best P4. Which, don't forget, he also got in a Toro Rosso last year in Bahrain. So technically, still, his best result in Formula 1 came with Toro Rosso. Still find that quite a funny fact. Podiums, obviously, none. We just mentioned their best result of P4. Max Verstappen has had 5 podiums. Here's where it becomes, I think, pretty criminally clear. The underwhelming nature, shall we say, I'm trying to be careful here, the underwhelming nature of Gasly's season so far. 181 points to Max Verstappen, just 63 for Pierre Gasly. 5 points in front of Carlos Sainz in the McLaren. That man in the background there, that was really good timing. I mean, it's been pretty poor. Looking at his results, I mean, he's only qualified in the top 6 on 7 occasions. 7 occasions. It's been 12 races. Okay, take away Azerbaijan because he started from the pit lane. Actually drove, I think, quite a good race in Azerbaijan until his car had mechanical failures. The only one retirement he's had this year. But apart from that, and apart from Silverstone, where again, I think he drove a strong race in Silverstone actually. Fighting with Sebastian Vettel, was there with his teammate, fighting in and around 4th place and ended up getting up P4. You've always got to be there to pick up the pieces when someone else's luck isn't there. So I can't take away the Silverstone performance whatsoever. That's exactly what he needed to be doing. And if he did that every single race this year, Red Bull would have no reason to drop him. The issue is, I think for many people, you think back to Gasly's highlights of this year, there's not really been any. You think of when you saw him on the TV, well, might be a bit harsh, but he's not really done anything. Case in point, Hungary, where, okay, had a pretty shoddy start, didn't qualify the best, but couldn't get past an Alfa Romeo of Kimi Raikkonen and the McLarens. And I think to myself, when you're in a top 3 team, when Max Verstappen is fighting Lewis Hamilton for the race victory, you've got to be able to get at least comfortably ahead of the midfield that all finished a lap down anyway. Multiple times he's been lapped by his teammate this year. I really don't want to dig him a hole too much because I think he'll be aware that it's not been a brilliant start. I feel he should have had more time. He hasn't. He's been dropped. It's going to be very difficult to retain P6 in the championship. It really is. I just hope he can find that bit of mojo at Toro Rosso, a little bit like Danny Kvyat has been able to do this year, and I hope he can recover and really make a statement for 2020. Gasly, 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. Maybe a bit harsh. I don't know. But I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. It's not been good enough. I probably should stop there. I find it really difficult with Pierre. Such a nice guy, but 2019 just hasn't gone right for him so far, shall we say. Anyway, on a brighter note, that's our final one for 2019. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. Once again, I said it yesterday, thank you for all of your support over this entire mini-series, if you want to call it that, although I think it's the longest series we've ever done on the channel, but we got through all 20 drivers, so if you have missed one or two and you've missed your favourite driver, all of them are up on the channel. They're all about 5 minutes long or so, so feel free to head over and watch that. Previews and race reports, practice previews and results, all that good stuff coming up for the rest of the week in build-up, in anticipation to the 2019 Belgian Grand Prix, so keep your eye out for those. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe and like if you're new, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.